Welcome, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you for that warm welcome. And welcome to the hardware battlefield.
Are you ready?
Yes, I've brought a Swiss Army knife.
How hard is your wear?
It's my entry. It says pith.
Yeah, that's what we've all got deep
Over
inside.
an image of Yosemite.
Yeah. What's on the other side?
Get that Lego shit back up here.
Yeah, I know. I cut it up.
Let me see you play a song on this.
I bet I could. So,
End of bit.
excuse me, I guess. Can you do that? See? Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Well done.
Welcome
not
to
entertained?
CES.
So I got to be honest. When I heard you were coming to CES, I was kind of like, what does this self-reliant, wood-loving dude want to do in this sort of wasteland of Internet of Things and other stuff? But then when I actually found out what you're here for, it kind of made sense. Could you kind of tell us what's going on here?
Sure, yeah. I'm here with American Greetings, representing the exciting tech movement known as hashtag device like no other. Hashtag refers to the number sign, also known as the pound sign.
You have to have a touch-tone phone to use a hashtag.
This is a tech thing. So, and then you put words after it, and it gives it magical properties.
Even when you speak it.
Yes. This device, like no other, it is a sleek design. We did an unveiling today in this cool packaging, and it's a greeting card.
Yeah.
And American Greetings felt that there's no better platform to point out that this particular technology, we also have this cool stylus.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about these. I got an advanced model right here. Oh, that's different.
That's nice. Yeah, this is a number 2 stylus.
Oh.
As you can see, it requires no charger
Wow.
or headphone jack.
Looks like this one's lightly used.
Yes, it does. It's self-correcting, is what that's called. The gag is that, with all of this amazing technology that we're enjoying, there's a coldness to it. There's a lot of amazing things we can do with texting and messaging systems. But if you really want to land a sentiment, if you really want people to feel what you're trying to tell them, there's no better way to do it than actually writing it out on something like a card. And that's something that my family uses a lot, and so they brought me in to rep it. And it occurred to me as I've been talking about it today, all this technology is cool, but if I tell you that I love you via text...
And thank you, by the way.
It'd be a little weird. You're welcome. With that funny string of emojis that has a certain laughable quality to it, and it's lighthearted. But if I write you a card that says I love you, that's an artifact that you can put in your pocket that carries so much more weight.
And it's funny that you say this. I've written about robots that do your own handwriting. They imitate your own handwriting for you, so you can have one of these personal cards sent by robot to the person you love. Just so you can automate this now as well.
That's the kind of crossover we love at CES.
That's exactly right.
We can take this personal, heartfelt moment and turn it into a cold, robotic,
basically a robot, yeah.
Orwellian scenario.
We can automate just about anything, including love now, and that's kind of the theme that we're seeing here. But so how far do you think when we talk about this, like no tech is the best tech for expressing love or something like that, how far do you think we got to take that? Should we all throw our phones into the ocean, or should we, just try to connect every once in a while, or just send a card, or what? Like, how far should we go?
You may be tempted to throw your phone into the ocean. I often am, but my agent needs to get a hold of me and to tell me that there's some sort of wizardry television show being planned, and I want to receive that messaging. So the phone has great value for things like that, but I think it's all this technology is amazing, but it's finding the balance for where it can do us and our planet and our people good, versus where it just becomes another tool for masturbation. which also has its place, but in moderation. In my opinion, the less technology you have, the better you can communicate your affection for others.
And do you think that the technology is actually harming our ability to communicate, or is that is that taking it too far, kind of a get off of my lawn, like maybe we don't quite understand it because we're not 14-year-olds Snapchatting back and forth all day or whatever?
I don't know, that's a big question, perhaps above my pay grade, but it's obviously, in technical ways, it's greatly improving our ability to communicate by quantity in any case, but maybe the question is quantity versus quality. I think it definitely, since the advent of the telegraph, the telephone, the email, which is an earlier technology.
I'm still wrapping my head around the telegram there, but yeah.
It's pre-SMS, which is, that's text messaging for you oldies.
Hashtag oldies.
Yeah, I think all of those iterations do deteriorate eye-to-eye contact.
Well, like we're making right now.
Handshakes, yeah. Your word is no longer considered your bond, and I think that is something that's eroded in the health of the population of the world.
I think you say a lot of true things there, and straight from the heart. But are there any, on the other side of the equation, are there any technologies or services or tools or whatever that you've found over the last few years have actually become indispensable, even though, rejecting technology in some ways is healthy, but then have there been a few where you're like, this has actually made my life better? I mean, don't think too hard about it. It's possible no is an answer.
Estwing has a new ball-peen hammer called the White Lightning around my shop. The annealed steel ball head is quite faster at peening metal rivets.
Seems important.
That's an invaluable technology. I don't know. I mean, it's a great question you pose because I definitely can get more work done more efficiently by using email and texting and even just using my laptop to receive documents, to write documents, etc. I can edit a film while driving on a road trip. I mean, that's amazing.
Have you done that?
I have. I mean,
good.
More specifically, my wife edited a whole record that she recorded on a road trip, and again, it's quality versus quantity. The question that begs is, how good is your road trip if you're editing your record the whole time, and how good is the record going to be
if you're on a road trip at the time
versus if you stayed in a studio and did it? And so it's finding a balance. I mean, I find that the more I can slow down my life, the more enjoyable it is, and the more I'm able to take care of those around me. If I get going too fast with too many projects, then my resume turns out cooler, but my relationships suffer.
Yeah. And are there any things out there that you just, 500 million people are using them and you just can't imagine it in your life? Can you think of anything off the top of your head?
I only learned today, I had heard of dick pics.
Yeah. Just now.
From being in the news and stuff, but I only learned today that it's become a regular practice for suitors to send these pictures to their, in using dating apps and stuff. And I have to say I was pretty astonished to hear that, and I think I'm a proponent of good manners, even though I like to talk about things like hand jobs. I do it politely. For example, I don't make an accompanying gesture when I say that term. But that, to me, that sounds like a degradation of class that I find upsetting. Things like that are masturbatory pastimes like Pokemon Go or something. Somebody showed me that on their phone, and I was like, yeah, I could lose my life to this. Like, I understand how addictive and delicious it can all be. But personally, I lost a couple months to Earthworm Jim.
Oh, yeah.
And Banjo-Kazooie.
Hell yeah.
I guess in the late 90s. And for me, I said, okay, that was really fun. I gained nothing. So I'll never do that again. That's my trip. So no. I mean, most stuff I understand why it takes over the populace, but I try to sidestep it so I can just keep making tables and canoes.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, you like to work with your hands. You have done for a long time. And as I mentioned with the handwriting robot, a lot of this stuff is being automated in some way or another. People don't whittle anymore. They just take their stick and put it in a CNC mill and have a perfectly whittled stick come out 20 seconds later. Are we losing skills? Are we, like, as a culture, are we no longer valuing that? Or is this just more sort of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that?
No, it's certainly an issue and something that I feel strongly about. We're absolutely losing skills. I don't think we're in danger as long as I'm on this goddamn planet.
I'm glad to have you.
I'll go down swinging. But, for me, I grew up in a farm family in Illinois, and it really comes down to farming. Like, our consumerist society has really disregarded the farm. And on the old-fashioned family farm, everybody was a woodworker and a glass blower and a cook and a animal husbander, etc. And everybody had these skills, and they made a lot less money. They drove a lot less BMWs, but they arguably had much more delicious, rewarding lives with only
and food.
Yeah, with only one pair of jeans, and much more healthy lives. Consuming, they knew where everything that came across their dining table came from, usually within 100 yards of that table. And so with these advents, the thing about a robot that can make your handwriting or a CNC whittled stick is that what they don't have is the magic of a human being's touch. And somebody asked me, I'm an actor, and there's a danger that we'll be able to soon create actor software. Like, you can buy Robert De Niro software and just put it in your movie. And I'm sure that will come to pass, and we'll have a lot of product that will be, it'll be amazing in a lot of ways probably, but it will not have that unpredictable, individual, unique magic that is a human animal.
Yeah, I agree. I think we could learn a lot from the farm that you grew up on, probably. And unfortunately, we can't learn it right now because we are out of time.
Son of a bitch.
I know. Look, you told me you love me, now I'm a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
All right, but we got to wrap it up. Thanks for coming out, and thanks to American Greetings, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for having me.